everyone, welcome back to the second episode of Gyaan Guruwaar. First of all, thank you so much for an amazing response on our first episode. In this second episode, we have Professor Dr. Rita Rangnekar, ma'am, Dean IBACO, and Behavioral and Soft Skill faculty with us. Thank you so much, ma'am, for taking out time and joining us for our Gyaan Guruwaar session.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Aditya. And thank you, Avani. It's really nice being invited on this platform. And that too immediately after Professor Hemant Purandare. It makes me feel good. My thank you to Dr. Preeti, Professor Hemant, and Professor Priyanka Dhingra for inviting me over here. And it's a beautiful morning. I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, as you are Dean IBACO, that is institution building, brand building for our institute. Ma'am, we would like to understand the meaning of institution building and the core values which IBS Mumbai follow in strengthening this institute, and also if you can give some insights on MDP program.
Uh, I'd like to remind everyone of the term meritum ethicus, which you will see on the websites of IBS. IBS is based on the philosophy of meritum ethicus, which means management education for all, everyone who deserves and who wishes to learn about management and make a career for all. IBS is open to provide that education based on merit. So we are the only institute, I would proudly say, which does not have a management quota, which does not have, which does not resort to any other means to provide education. And whichever student comes to IBS, he gets the best of inputs, the best of education, based on academic rigor and student development. These core values are complete and wholesome development of a student, not only through academic rigor, but also through complete student development in terms of the activities that all of you are organizing. Those develop the students, exposing them to industry. So, you have this beautiful link between IBS, the industry, and the student who comes to IBS, the undergraduate colleges. So there is this beautiful link which enables a student to enter on his own merit, okay? Learn management, learn how, and yes, one more focus is that on employability. So IBS prepares its students to adapt and adhere and grow in any kind of culture in the organization. So that focuses employability. So with that kind of focus on industry, academia, then employability and student development, okay, here now I come to institution building. So institution building is actually about doing everything that it takes to prepare or make IBS the best school. Okay, we may not be on the, we may not be world renowned, but whoever comes to us and goes back fulfilled, and we give them a career. So there is a career which is a superordinate goal for every student who comes to us. I hope I've been able to answer
So due to this pandemic, effective communication and building trust in a team has become a challenge as juniors have not met each other. So can you advise us on ways to overcome this challenge so that it helps the student working efficiently and coordinating in groups?
Now you have education coming to your doorstep. Everything is being given to us over here. And we are working remotely like everybody else in this world is. There is always a big chance of getting left out or being isolated. And everybody is feeling that, okay, I'm not in touch with everyone else. Today, it's important that we pick up the phone, we connect with people, we reach out to people. Nobody will come and reach out to us. So it's very important that we speak up by picking up that phone and talking to people. We keep on writing continuous messages. We use social media in a very constructive way. So I would advise all the students to communicate about themselves and about IBS on their social media pages. I think your generation looks at Instagram, Facebook, not so much, but write out to people and tell them what you stand for. Showcase yourself in a good light. Create WhatsApp groups. I'm sure all of you are doing that. Uh, Speak about yourself and tell them what is good about you and showcase your talents. That's very, very important. Reach out to people who need your help. There are many of your batchmates who may need your expertise, your help. There's something that you know, there's something that somebody else does not know. It's also possible for you to have an exchange of ideas. You are good in finance, somebody else is good in marketing. Have an exchange of ideas and help each other grow. And I don't think it is not possible to have trust because your voice says everything. You called me a behavioral expert, right? This is a beautiful platform to actually emotionally connect with each other. That's what I believe. Your voice speaks, and even the words that you write on WhatsApp or on email, they speak. They tell people about your moods and about your intent. So it's also possible to reach out to people and have faith in each other and grow together. Tomorrow, when you go to the campus, you should say, "Hey, I know your voice. I've heard this." So develop.
Ma'am, as you're also into corporate social responsibility and mentor of the social wing, the CSR club of IBS Mumbai, that is Parivartan, can you please share us some experience regarding the same and tell us how important it is to give back to the society on individual as well as corporate perspective?
From the beginning, Parivartan has been into education of the underprivileged. So you know about the Leaders of Tomorrow program, which has been going on now since 2006. So this, I guess, is its 14th year, completed 14 years. It started off as a small movement where our students started going to a school for the underprivileged, where the parents of uh, these children coming to the school had an income of not more than 2,000 rupees per month. And as a result of which, they had low confidence levels, low in English speaking. So the students decided to conduct communication skills and confidence building classes for these students every Saturday. And Aditya and Avni, I would like to tell you that come rain, come sun, um, or even if there were a deluge, we would still have the classes going every Saturday. So the students would say, "Ma'am, we somehow managed, but we have reached here and we are going to go on with the classes." And that's how the NOT program went on, and today it still goes on very strong. This year, the principal of the school called us and said that we have a lot of children. The school also has started online classes, but many of these children do not have gadgets. They don't have a laptop, they don't have a mobile phone, and the cell phone is available to them only on Sunday, because then the parent is at home, and that is when they are able to share the mobile phone with the children. There's only one cell phone at home. The mothers are BMC workers, and so the school requested that we start this for them on Sundays, and that's why I think under your leadership all this has been going on, since the last 2 months. Last year, the students uh, participated in a food distribution drive where every evening you have these caterers who uh, give away food. I'm not calling it leftover food, but food specifically kept aside for beggars or for street dwellers. So the Parivartan team would collect food from them and go from place to place on foot, walking, serving and distributing food to street dwellers and beggars. This would go on till 1 in the morning. And again, the next morning, 7 o'clock, they would be at Carter Road for the street children education drive. So teaching street children and educating them. In addition to that, there are activities such as the LCCWA, where our students teach them maths and English. There are tree plantation drives. The blood donation camp happens every year. This year, I hope we will have it towards the end of the year because we couldn't have it this year. I've seen students crying uh, during the blood donation camp because they were not eligible to donate blood on account of low hemoglobin levels. Okay, so now I want to donate, but I can't because I'm not eligible for that. Okay, so that's the fervor and that's the interest with which the students engage in Parivartan activities. I would like to mention that every year, there is something new that you see in the Parivartan group in terms of one enthusiasm, in terms of ideas, in terms of followership, and in terms of the kind of leaders that they get every year. So every year, the Parivartan leadership brings in a new flavor, new ideas, and yes, there is a lot of conflict. And I say there should be conflict because if there is no conflict, there is no work at all. Okay, healthy conflict leads to something new, and I guess that's the way it goes out. Now, from the corporate angle, if you give me 1 minute, and if you give me a minute, I would definitely like to say that. Corporates do expect or rather do encourage social responsibility or a social inclination, and if you as a candidate demonstrate something that you've done to do your bit or contribute towards social responsibility, you're always respected. You're always respected because it's not only about and work. What are you giving back to society? That's one. Corporate social responsibility as a concept is also used for employer branding or for corporate branding. And here I want to share an example. In my previous organization, where I was, that was way back in 2004 and 2003, when I was working for the CSR account of my company. This is a painful experience for me, but I want to share it with you because I want the students to know. I was handling an account for the disabled. We had donated computers to the disabled for them to become self-reliant, and I was in charge of that entire project. And the company or the stakeholders wanted photographs of this entire activity or the project. And I guess I was about 2 days late in giving the pictures because personally I felt that why are we making a spectacle out of this? So it took me some time to get used to it. But that quarter, I did not get my incentives because the company felt that uh, corporate social responsibility has to be branded. And why does it have to be branded? Because that way, that's the only way to get help from the rest of the world. People refuse to donate unless they feel that there is some cause in it. So as much as doing your bit is required, it is also important to uh, brand CSR. So my advice always to Parivartan students is that showcase this, not because you're showcasing it to show off, but that is the only way through which more people will join you in this social cause. So, like you have a Vidya Balan or an Amitabh Bachchan who endorses polio drives. That's the way it should be. Make people join in with you, and it's very important to speak about CSR to the rest of the world. That's what that is my humble submission.
So, as our college is organizing many seminars and webinars for students, can you give us some insight on how a student can learn from such sessions and why is it important?
Try multi or cross-functional listening. So if you're a HR student, I would advise that you listen to all the finance webinars or you participate in all of those because it will give you a perspective about what's happening in a domain other than your own. That leads to, it expands your personality and it makes you grow. There is a concept called neuroplasticity, which psychologists talk about. The more you engage in learning or other domains, it helps your in your own personality or it helps in your own growth mindset. So learn from other webinars also. Listen to them, listen keenly, take about 4 or 5 points from those. Ask questions. Ask a lot of questions because why do you think all these very senior and top management people spare their valuable time speaking to you? For them, every minute is important. And if they have taken time off from their busy schedule to spare 2 hours to talk to you, it's because they also want to listen to you. So don't hide behind the screen. Unmute yourself and ask questions. They like to listen to you because they like to interact with you. You all are young, you bring energy, and they like to take that energy from you and they like to share knowledge. So ask questions, keep your questions ready, and ask those questions because that way you will be able to get knowledge from them. Okay, so that's one. Observe how they speak, see how they talk, and starting with what are they wearing, how do they communicate, what words do they use, what kind of language do they use, also the humility with which they speak. Now, one of the speakers, a very senior person, called me a day, 2 days in advance, and he says, Rita ma'am, can you tell me, can you advise me on how to speak? And I said, sir, you're so senior. Who am I to advise you? See the level of humility that these senior people have. Emulate that, copy that, okay? Listen to them. And one more thing, if you have actually attended, at least if suppose there were about 20 webinars, if you attended even 12 webinars, make notes from those. Ask yourself over the weekend, what did I learn from each of these webinars? Write an essay on all the learnings that you've got, some new concepts that you've learned from there. Write an essay and give it to your Manthan head and say, I've written an article on all the webinars and the learnings that I had, and please publish it for me. Or give it to Aditya and Ravni and say, okay, you put this on your digital media pages as my learning from the webinars and publish it. Put them on your social media pages. There is so much that you can learn and give back. Or if nothing else, write an email to the person who delivered the webinar and say, sir, I was so happy to interact with you today and this is what I learned, and correct me if I'm wrong, and this is what I learned. Maybe have you more often to speak on our webinars. So use those, make presentations on those, and learn from those. Share your expertise, have an exchange also with people in terms of what more could have been added to these webinars. Send out topics to your coordinators saying, sir, we would like to have more webinars on these also. And last point, yes, they are speaking to all of us on employability and new skills that have to be generated. So if they speak about analytics, join up a course on analytics. If they speak on soft skills, learn from your soft skills faculty and ask them, ma'am, from this webinar, this particular person said that communication skills or speaking skills are important. How can I develop my speaking skills? Please give me some insights on those.
Ma'am, thank you for giving your valuable time. And before ending the interview, any advice, suggestion, or note you would like to give our audience?
Because our students are studying from home, you know what, you all are the beginners of this generation. I don't have a technical term for this or any jargon. I'll put it in simple language. This is the beginning of an education revolution. education at your doorstep. It's coming to you. You know, since you spoke about corporate social responsibility, my mother says that they had to walk 2 miles to reach school because school would mean walking to another village. Whereas, today your school or your college is walking to your doorstep with a satchel and coming to you. Am I right? So, welcome that, respect that, and enjoy the learning that's coming out of it. At the end of the day, make a note in terms of how much have I grown since May. What has been my learning from May to now? And so let's say May was point A and now is point B. From point A to point B, where have I reached in terms of my growth? What management concepts have I picked up? What else have I picked up from other domains? And yes, it's quite possible to be cut off from the world. You may attend your classes, but you may forget to read the newspapers or keep in touch with the news. So keep yourself agile. And something that I picked up from somewhere else, this is not my original one, but when you're learning and if you're actually studying from your laptop or from your mobile phone, be agile. So keep moving so that you also don't forget that sitting in one seat can actually make you immobile or can make you static. So keep moving and think of new ideas to do your bit for society, whichever club you're in, or wherever you are, or whichever activity you are in. Try to align that to social responsibility and contribute to social work. Think of those who don't have gadgets like you. Think of those who don't have beautiful houses like you and how they must be studying, in what circumstances they would be continuing with your studies, and be happy to be where you are. I guess uh, that should be all for Gyaan.
Thank you so much, ma'am.